Just a second. Hi, good morning, good afternoon, everybody. I'm finally back from my sick leave, from my extended sick leave, and I'm happy to welcome this morning or this afternoon Azar Wazim and Adil Kamal, which is our guest of today. And I directly hand over to Azar to introduce the today's session.
Thank you, Annette. Welcome, everyone, to our third fireside session on modern day design challenges with MicroStation. In our previous session, you have seen a lot of industry professionals and experts who have come and showcased their projects, talked about the latest industry trends and challenges and how they cope up with MicroStation. This session is going to be a bit interesting because first time a student have joined us who is a great advocate of MicroStation product, and we'll talk about him a bit. So first of all, this is a live session. So feel free to interact with us. Use the comment section to post your questions, or if you would like us to show anything in the future, please feel free for that. All the sessions are recorded and it will be available for you to view over to the LinkedIn page or the YouTube videos, and we'll share them later on. And also stay tuned for our next sessions. We'll announce our upcoming sessions. There's a lot of interesting topic going on, and we will discuss about it towards the end of the presentation. So, talking about today's presenter, we have Adil Kamal. He is an architecture student enrolled in Eastern Mediterranean University in Cyprus. So, Adil has delivered a lot of award-winning projects during his course of architecture, and he's one of the great advocates of MicroStation products and Bentley solutions. So, first of all, Adil, thank you so much for joining us during your lunch break. We are really impressed with the project that you have showcased on LinkedIn platform. So, could you just introduce yourself and how did you get into the architecture? That would be great.
Thank you, everyone. Thanks for having me here. Again, my name is Adil Kamal, third year architecture student in the Eastern Mediterranean University in Northern Cyprus. So, this is a short introduction about myself. I was born and brought up in Saudi Arabia, and my parents are originally from India. So, being grown up in Saudi Arabia and the Middle East, it gave me a great opportunity for travel within the Middle East. So, this naturally comes up with their amazing architecture. In some of the countries, they try to maintain their tradition, their culture, and they produce architecture. While some of the countries, they try to modernize with their architecture, with their design. So growing up as a child, I was greatly inspired through the designs, through the buildings that I see, through how the culture is integrated to architecture. This was one of the things that brought me to architecture, to choose architecture. And another thing, a very important one, is that my dad, he works for Bentley Systems for a very long time. And then as a child, I see him doing 3D models and this, he does design some things. So it really used to uh, enhance my interest in design. I used to see what he does. And then meanwhile, when he's free, he teaches me some things from his microstation and like this. So these are some of the things that brought me into architecture.
That's great.
Cool.
Thank you, Adil. So,
Mm.
I'm Azhar Wasim. I'm a product sales engineer with Bentley Systems. I handle the building design and plant design solutions. And
Mhm.
unfortunately, Kamal Bacha couldn't join us because of some user training and some engagement he had on his hand. But nevertheless, he will join us for the future sessions. So Kamal Bhatt is actually a senior application engineer. A lot of people might know him because he has delivered a lot of trainings, trained a lot of designers in the region. So what is exciting about what Adil mentioned is technically Kamal and Adil, they are the most dynamic duo of father and son. And they are really passionate about projects and design innovation in the industry. So in this session, what we'll be discussing from Adil's perspective is the impact of software usage on architecture design and how easy it is to work with Bentley software because it doesn't require just one solution. Sometimes we have to work with multiple solutions in order to deliver a design project. And how does software support a creative mind with a modern day architecture? And Kamil, Adil will be showing us some of his award-winning projects and what inspired him, how the software and technology has helped him in deliver those projects. So Adil, before we proceed further, just a quick question. You said in one of your last interviews that MicroStation, you had used MicroStation in some of your projects. So could you just elaborate on how these Bentley applications contribute towards your project?
All right. First of all, as an architecture student, we do not dive directly into software. So what we do is there is a procedure and a workflow, and the workflow is not something that's too formal. It's something that starts with a sketch. So we start
Mhm,
with a sketch, and we try to initiate ourselves, our ideas from the mind to the paper. So this is the first step of an architect. And once he or she succeeds in these stages, then comes the
mhm,
stage of technicality. So you're going to present what's in your mind to the clients or to the presenters, the jury members. So in this case, you'll have to be well versed with one or more of softwares. And
mhm,
the good thing about Bentley systems, let me not just focus on MicroStation, but as a whole, Bentley systems provide a complete workflow an architecture student might need. So it starts with two-dimensional technical drawings where you do it with MicroStation. Then you have easily you can move it to Open Building Designer, for example. So it has 2D, 3D. Also, it has rendering programs, Luminati. So it has a complete workflow what an architecture student might need. Initially, what how I started, even before architecture, as I mentioned earlier, my dad, when he showed me these things, he showed me very basic drafting of how do you draw lines. How he taught me at first how to make a star and an equilateral triangle. So what you see in this is that the precision that the software gives than yourself. This is something you learn. So I started to learn it this way. How do I make a triangle? How do I make a star? Gradually, today's use is because when we do projects from a sketch, I move it to technical drawings. So in this case, even I maybe I insert my image, my sketch image, try to trace it over in MicroStation, provide it with proper dimensions, and it helps me really a lot in critics and everything. So it is helping me provide my imagination to reality. In simple words.
mhm. That's really interesting to hear. But what about your this thing? I mean, see, you're working along with a lot of other team members of yours, right? And not
Mm,
everyone's preferred tool is the same. So first, okay, let me get back first. Like,
mm.
what made you start learning about MicroStation? Like, did you find some value in it, or was it the initial software that you were introduced to and you got ease of it? So something bit little bit on that, please.
Can you repeat the question? It is
No, no, I mean, like, what got you into MicroStation? Was it like because this was one
about.
of the first tools? What got you into MicroStation? I mean, did you start? This was the first software that you started working with, and you got the ease of doing it, or was it a dad who influenced you to start working on it, or did you actually see? Because see, what happens with an architecture student, you're working with different team members, right? And not everyone's preferred tool is going to be the same. Some people use a
Mhm.
different set of solutions. You use a different set of solution. So, how do you work and collaborate between your team members? How did you start your journey with the Bentley tool? Something on that, if you could help us.
Okay. Regarding this one, like I think as a student, the student is mostly flexible because in their learning stages, they are easily adaptable to any software or any workflow. And one of the ease that Bentley systems and all the softwares provide is that their files are not restricted into Bentley softwares alone. So for
Mhm.
someone, let's say my colleague uses any of the programs, it's easy for us to import and export even with MicroStation. So let's say me, I use also SketchUp for my 3D modeling. So
Yeah,
in that case, I can easily open my SketchUp file in MicroStation, and let's say I want
that's
to make section of it, I want to create a plan of it. All of this with the SketchUp file or any other programs, I can use it with MicroStation without any problem. And it gives me the same quality because usually when you import and export into some other program, we start to lose quality or we see some kind of broken lines and so on. But MicroStation does it in a very amazing way.
no, that's good. And
Hope
that is
this
something
answers.
we at no, that's perfect. Actually, this is what even we at Bentley emphasizes that we should start influencing people at a very young age because you are more adaptable, you can easily learn. And that is where a
Hmm.
lot of students actually enroll with the Bentley Academy part of it in order to get trained on the software because it is heavily being used in the large scale industry and the bigger infrastructure projects everywhere. So that's actually great to hear that you have actually realized the value and you actually utilize the value of it. But what in terms of, I mean, one of your recent projects that I saw was technically that I think it was your team design of some bathroom, I think, if I was right. And you had very clear, technically place the brick alignment in order for the lights to come in so that, modern daylight, I mean, daylight is being utilized as maximum and you have energy saving on that. So do you generally do energy analysis on all your projects, or is it not really
Okay.
a scope of your design right now?
Okay, in this, I'll be genuine. As an architect, we try to focus a lot on energy. And what it means by energy, the major factor, the major component of energy is natural sunlight and natural wind ventilation. So we have something called passive design, and we have the considerations of sunlight in all kinds of design. Let's say we design facades for a building as a skin, and we try to invite the east sun, which is the best sun in the morning, and we try to avoid from the harsh south sun, and so we have these aspects. And
Okay.
in design itself, this is how we consider. But I know Bentley has some detailed ways of finding energy or finding, let's say, structural loads. Me myself, I haven't really reached, but I would really be glad if Bentley education team would support me and guide me in focusing on this. How do I calculate energy stuff, or structural ability of a building, of a structure? This would help me a lot. We do
Actually,
consider, but I'm not having direct access to how to do. So it would help me.
no. Okay, I understand your concern. So we actually do have a great energy analysis tool, I mean, embedded in Open Building Designer. And for structural
Mhm.
detailing, we have software called StatPro, where you can literally import your models in it for any sort of structural detailing you want to do. If you want to do steel, concrete, everything, we have that. And we can share it later with you. So before we proceed to your projects, I just want to quickly move to the next slide here. So in this session, we have been discussing about three key capabilities of MicroStation. So main purpose of MicroStation is to enable users deliver innovative design and creative visualization and consolidate critical project element in a single environment for effective and secure project deliverables. So the three key capabilities provided by MicroStation that add real value to your projects are: you can model anything anywhere. You can read and consolidate any sort of data and keep the stakeholders informed about it. So let's move to Adil's presentation where he will showcase some of his award-winning projects, and let's get to hear from his side. Bennett, could you please share Adil's screen?
Yeah, as soon as Adil shares his screen again, I will
Okay.
directly switch. Oh, there's
But
something
it is
coming.
actually really good to see, Narita, that a lot of young
Here we
minds
go.
are actually realizing the value of the software in it.
Is my screen visible?
Yes,
Yes,
we
we can
can.
see that.
Okay, that's the introduction page. I look much fresh there.
I have a very quick question.
Yes, yes,
Why
please.
did Azar write you with 2A and you yourself write yourself with 1A?
Okay.
What's the
Actually,
background of that?
it's pronounced as Adil as 2A, but
Okay,
then the spelling itself is ADIL, just ADIL.
understand. Okay, thanks for
Yes.
clarifying.
All right. This is a quick recap from our session. Also, in this one, what I'm trying to speak is about Bentley's helping hand on industry, professionals, and the students. So I've categorized it into two categories. One of them is the personal impact, meaning how it has helped me. So one of the things I've stated is skill enhancement because it enhances a student's technical knowledge and skill set by these softwares. And the second one is career growth because the knowledge and experience gained from using Bentley systems helps in advancing a person's career because use of softwares or a specific workflow is definitely going to improve the way you present, the way you do, and all of your workflow. And then the second category is the impact on industry, which definitely you are much aware than me. And these are the things which I feel is amazing with all the softwares they do. One of them is enhanced project efficiency because we have reduced times, we have project deadlines, and the causes of error is very minimal in usage of BIM programs, especially when multiple disciplines work on a single file. Let's say the causes of error is really less, and improved collaboration because they have cloud platforms and so on. And I'm also including large scale potentials because the projects that MicroStation deals with is beyond the moderate scale. So because it has a lots of advantages in clouding and collaboration, that's one of the biggest advantages. That's large scale potential of development. Okay, I say embracing opportunities for development because this one I'm really looking at it as an opportunity to share some of my projects and architecture, which is one of the most misunderstood professions. So I would like to explain some of my projects. These are, inshallah. The first project is the seafront house. I will go to the seafront house, this one. So first of all, I would like to say that every project is designed for its users and it has to be personalized for them and for the clients. So any design we do, we come up with a scenario, a client scenario of what they need and so on. So this one is one of the elevations of the project which doesn't show a lot. But what I would like to explain in this is this scenario of who the house was designed for. So in this case, it was for three people. The husband, who is a landscape architect, he wants his office and the house at the same place. The wife, she has a flower shop, and then they have a son. So these are the clients here. The minimum very quick I can explain about them. And then okay, in this project, one of the things is the landscape architect has his office in this place. If you can see my cursor, this place which extends towards the sea, that's where the office is. And the access to his office is a long ramp, is a curved ramp, so that the clients, when they come, they don't come in the car and they enter into the house, but rather they feel the landscape itself. So the house itself is being a symbol of landscape for the architect. And also the wife's flower shop is in this kind of a glass box, and all of the landscaping helps in grow her own flowers and what she wants to sell. And one of the things, I go back to my slide, this one is concept development. So how can someone end up in a form like this? Because there are million alternatives that someone can do, right? So we come up with this kind of analysis. So in this one, what I say, I just started with a simple cube, the volume itself, and I'm adding up a floor. Then I'm having these curves. These curves, for example, is to enhance the potential of the sea view that we have. This site was in a place called Iskele in Cyprus. So it has a very beautiful Mediterranean Sea. To enhance this view, the curve is facing towards the sea, and also further it's rotated, it's mirrored in a way to bring in the best sunlight for the office. And then I'm connecting it with the ramp so that they do not climb up with an elevator or a stair, but rather they feel the landscape of the project. So here's a physical model and a picture of myself, and this one is from Luminarty. So it is Open Building Designer and Luminarty, just to show, even not necessarily you finalize your project, because the software works, it's synced. When I'm progressing, I can still go to Luminati and check how the things are working, and is it the exact way that I imagine it. So it helps greatly even during the process, not just post design, but even during the process, it helps greatly. This is the interface of Luminati. And the second project, am I keeping up time? Am I slow? Am I fast?
All
Oh, you're
fine.
going good. All fine. Don't worry.
All right. So this is the second project. I will try to be a bit faster. The Bikers Hub. This project was it was a very quiet neighborhood, a very quiet community. It had an old age home and a British colonized houses, British style houses. This was the only thing. So the idea of this project that they have come up was, they told us you need to design something that will empower this community. So it can be any hub, it can be a health hub, it can be any kind of thing. And the story that I've come up with is named as the Bikers Hub. One of them is because the old people, they do not have enough activities for themselves, and also it's a tourist spot. So it's like to create an interaction between these two people through a common platform, that's biking. So in this one, I have one of the slides. As I said, we do not jump directly into a final design. So this one, it's like a symbolic presentation, how it is. For me, I've started it like a road, of how a road will look, and it's an abstraction of a road, and I've made it into curves and like this based on wind and sun directions. So also on to have the best facing towards, it was a corner site. So to define the entrance and so on, we have these reasons which made me choose such a form and define it in this way. So these are some of those renders, some of those pictures I have. You can see them, and okay, before this, also in this project, we had a topography of 4.5 meters. So one of the things commonly done is that when we have topography, usually people try to landfill it completely. They
Yeah.
landfill it so that they do not really design topography. But for us, maybe you can even fail the design course because of such a thing, because topography is a great potential. So in this case, how topography was used is that the cursor, if you can see, this one is the entrance at 0 level, and then the site keeps going down to -3. So how I've designed this is to create a ramp that goes through the soil and then it comes out around the building. So this part which you see here is where the biker comes. This is for the bikers, yes. So the bikers ride down the ramp that's through the soil and they open up to this courtyard. And this courtyard is where they have biking facilities, they have some bike rentals, bike customization, and so on. So that this is one of a million examples, because topography is a great potential which architects really need to consider. And yes, this is one of those projects, and this was in MicroStation. The plan layout, even this one is for the section. You can see the details. You just keep zooming, add your details, add technical details, and it's really good even in exports. Okay, yes. And another project, third one, two more projects I'm presenting in this. Okay, this project was, most of you might be aware of the earthquake that happened in Turkey, the last year's earthquake. So it had
Yes.
a great impact on northern Cyprus as well, because there were people who lost homes, there were students whose families were affected, and so on. So this semester's project, they came up with something interesting. The thing they came up was, it's a project that you need to design for a vulnerable people, a vulnerable group of people. It can be women, it can be children, it can be old people, anything that you choose. So it's based on your own approach towards design. And the second criteria is that within this design, you are not supposed to exchange money. You're supposed to have barter exchange. So let me give you apples and you fix my bike. So the barter exchange has to work somehow in your design. And how I approached this design was the soil analysis which we had in this site. It was great for mandarins and citrus-based trees. So, and there were quite a lot when we understood the site analysis, the context. There were lots of lemon and mandarin trees. So how I did this was to provide a growing environment for orphan children, children who are orphaned, and they would grow lemons, they would grow the citrus-based trees, and they would exchange with the community in return for books, in return for other needy things. And the architectural decision for this one was to create a floating platform. So in this one, the green which you see here with the tent, this is the floating platform I created. What it does is, it is to show the importance, it's the most dominating element, to show the importance of growing green, of understanding education, and so on. So the trees are not growing in the growing platform. What grows here is like the pots. So the tourists, those who come, we exchange the pots and they can grow it anywhere they want. Also, we have these kind of seed samples and so on, which people exchange. Tourists, they go to a country and they get those seedlings and they bring them back. So this is this kind of a potential, this kind of a project. And what I'm presenting in this slide is again the concept development of how we have come. Let's say at first stage, it was making use of three different levels. It was a 9-meter topography. And one of the critics, they said it is for children. So try to avoid sharp corners and narrow spaces, narrow corridors. Try to make it smooth and curvy for them. So that's the reason I'm jumping from this kind of strict right angles to smoother curves, and then it according to the functions it's modified. And even this section, I've done this section with MicroStation, and this is a perspective section, so it works with the 3D file, and then you post process it with rendering of Photoshop and so on. And in this project, I can show you as a brief where the entrance is this part in the right, and this is the highest zero level, and this part is the children playground. So the children playground extends horizontally and vertically. So how it's extending vertically is those tents, and then I have a sky trampoline park for them to play, and below them is the classrooms. So they have a direct connection, visual connection for students. And the lowest level has a cafe which has a good view with the existing river. And yes, also this
Really,
one, this the reason. Yes, yes. The reason for this image is actually to show two of my elevations, which is to also convey a very sensitive thing, which is, for example, in this context, we had buildings that were 4 meters high and 5 meters high as maximum. So in a residential neighborhood, when you design something, you do not just design the way you want. So you have to respect existing context. So in the front elevation, the one which is presented in the top, this is how the building would look. It would look like a 4 meter high building and it has a tent. So it's very much modest and humble with the context. But the moment you go down the topography is when you see 3, 4 floors, a 20-meter high building. And this is also an optical illusion that you create in design. So there are many such projects even throughout history. There are great projects and great architects who try to achieve this, which is to respect context at the same time provide the functions needed for the clients. The columns used here are steel structural columns. I haven't done the structural load tests and so on. As long as the structure work, this is what we really worry at this moment. It is to represent again the growing of lemon, the growing together of children, and so on. Okay, this is one of the interior shots of the classroom. And yes, we have some plan alternatives that I've tried in MicroStation. And the last project, yes. And this project again was to develop a project that's for the complete neighborhood, not just the site. So we call it as an urban proposal. It's not design proposal, design and urban proposal. And it's named as intergenerational play. Like to quickly summarize this project, the neighborhood, it had 30% of student population of university students, meaning they're above the age of 18, and then children of the remaining 20%, and 50% of old people, the actual citizens, Cypriots. So the problem is everyone has their own lifestyle and they're all divided in their own ways. So this project they came up with saying you need to unite them intergenerational, that is you need to unite different generations through play and games. So some of my colleagues had games like actual games or virtual games or AI and so many things like this. The way I took it was again with a more healthy health awareness, creating health awareness. So one of the major urban proposals that I did was the bikers bridge throughout the neighborhood. It creates like a complete circle so that they have daily practices and so on. Even there are marathons and so on, which a whole community participates. So this is like encouraging all of them towards health awareness, the design itself, and the urban proposal. So we have some of these renders which show the project. And in the very near context, in front of the site, we had a school. So one of the decisions I made was to close this street for vehicles, and I made it completely as a play street. So these children have a play street, and that extends to the design itself. A skater's park in the front of even this kind of setbacks we do in design need to have a very strong reason. Why I haven't started my building here is because to provide really good indoor-outdoor relation and what's needed for this neighborhood. So I have a skater's park and a biker's bridge that's connecting to give a hands-on experience towards the people here. This is a physical model that I've done, and it's a similar aerial shot of the render showing these things. So the design is here, and the play street, this is an existing sport facility, and I've designed this as an extension for this sport facility. And also the bikers bridge extends all the way here and connects to the sport areas over here. Okay, this was an open building designer also. Like, I keep switching either in microstation, sometimes in open building. This one was from microstation, yes. And yes, this is all the things I've presented for today. Thank you so much for having me. And any questions and contact, you can always let me know. Thank you.
Thank you, Adar, for sharing this. So, first of all, one thing that I'm really glad after looking all your projects is that we are able to support your, the creative mind that you have, something that you sketch, something that you think, and we can
Mhm.
always support with our solutions to bring you on that. So that is something I really like that we're able to help you on that. One of the projects that I really like is the intergenerational playgroup because having a common space where all different generations can stay together. Because either the old people will get pissed at you or the middle-aged men will get angry on something. To accommodate everyone in
Mhm.
one single space, that is something really inspiring and really different for me. So thank you once again for actually showing us great projects that you have. So now moving back to my slide.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
thanks also from my side. That was really impressive. And I think everybody that watched the presentation was able to see how great projects you can do with the use of Bentley technology in general, with MicroStation, with open buildings, the fantastic way to do visualizations with Lumen RT and similar products. So that was really a very good overview about what can be done, and the projects were really great, especially the
exactly,
ones
Thank you.
with the lemon trees and the mandarin trees. That was really nice.
exactly. Linda, do you mind sharing my screen again?
Yes, sure.
Perfect. So thank you, Adil. Now moving ahead.
Yes.
So as we all know, so there's no better way to describe MicroStation capability than calling it as a perfect data integrator. We spoke about MicroStation modeling capabilities, but assuming that there's a lot of data and geometry flying around, the best way to create a final project model is to integrate. Integrating what you model and define with MicroStation together with an external data or your colleagues and partners, or creating to produce the final picture of the project and feed all the stakeholders with the data that they need via data, I mean via drawings or reporting or digital twins model. MicroStation is the best tool for that. Now moving towards the next slide. So in case, if you would like to learn more about MicroStation, you can actually scan the QR code for the customized demo that talks about all the capabilities of MicroStation. And you can even visit our website. We have a YouTube channel that has a lot of training videos and materials on it. You will see that in our next slide. So we have Bentley communities. We are coming up with a new phase for the Bentley communities as well, where you'll be able to find your content way more easier and faster with a more accurate description. And a YouTube channel has a lot of training videos for you to start your journey with MicroStation now. And please feel free to scan the QR code whenever, either now or during the recording session, which are you watching, in order to get your free trial on this. Also, we will have continuous sessions over the next couple of months. Our next session is on June 26th, where we will be discussing about unlocking the power of 3D CAD models, because there's still a lot of people who are still on 2D workflows. And this session will help you understand the benefit of having a 3D CAD models, how you can move to the next stage of your projects with digital twin BIM models, and how you can extract your 2D deliverables from a 3D model itself. So it's a very interesting session with one of our product expert, Danning from Bentley Systems. So feel free to join that, register for that event. It is a great webinar coming up next. Also, I will take this opportunity to share something that is going on live right now on a web store. So Bentley's e-commerce store, virtuosity.com, is having a 20% discount on all the softwares that is available right now. Let it be for your road design, civil projects, infrastructure projects, building design, plant design. Every product that is there on the e-store has a 20% discount valid until end of Friday. So visit the store, see if you have any requirement, place the order now to avail the discount. And I would like to take this opportunity to announce that we have launched a new building suite. which is technically a great power packed building design suite solution, as you will need multiple projects, like how Adil mentioned that he has used multiple solutions over a single project, whereas we have combined a great bundle of products that could help you deliver your building design drawings of BIM ready models using a building design suite. So building work suite technically includes open building designers, which has your generative components and station designer. Open building SPDCon is also included. Your pro structures there, open site designer is included in it. Luminati for your visualization, Bentley Decas for your any to convert to vectorize any of your digital. I mean, if you want to create a digital layout or plan of a PDF drawing, I think Bentley Decas is one of the best tools that you could use right now. And you even have item capture model included in it. If you would like to get more information on it, please feel free to reach out to me and I can share you all the capabilities that it can cover with the building design work suite. Also, we have launched another plant design work suite. So all the industry professionals who are into some sort of plant design, it could be either in oil and gas, electrical plants, solar power plants, water industry. Plant design work suite is one-stop solution for all your designing needs. It has your open plant modeler. It has your PNID, Isometrics Manager, Support Engineering, Orthographics Manager, and also Bentley Raceway and Cable Management. So a lot of people have issues with cable management solutions because there's nothing good out in the market. Bentley's Raceway and Cable Management is one of the best tools you could use to design and manage your cables right now. So go to the website, check out the capabilities, reach out to me for further information, and we can help you arrange a detailed demo on the capabilities that the Plant Design Work Suite covers. And for the final few slides, we have a switch campaign. So in case if you're using any of other CAD products that you have, and if you would like to switch to MicroStation, we have extended the campaign offers until 21st June. So you get a flat 20% off on an annual subscription. And if you are a person who would like to prefer to buy a perpetual license, you get a 30% discount on it. So you can contact us via email to receive the code and reach out to us if you have any further clarification or technical discussion that you would like to have in order to upgrade to MicroStation from your current CAD solution. So this is a product team for EMEA. So all our email IDs are mentioned here. You can reach out to any of us and we're more than happy to assist you. So once again, thank you for joining for this session. Hope it was informative, helpful, and we could share something new of what is going on in the industry. For me personally, it was really helpful to see a modern day design and how we are supporting the modern day design architecture, because there's a lot of challenges that architects face, and architects generally have this restriction between what is there in the creative mind and what they could deliver. And there's a fine line between the practicality and imagination, and that needs to be bridged always. So that is one of the great things that we could cover. So thank you for joining. Thank you, Adam, for presenting your amazing projects with us. Hopefully, we'll have few more sessions with you in the future, and you
Thank
could
you.
be a good example for all the young minds out there in the industry. And
Maybe
thank
one
you once
last one last comment from my side. All the young minds that watch us, all the students that watch us, we also offer help if you want to start your own business after graduating. That means we have special possibilities to grant you let's say an affordable entry into your business life if you want to start your own business. So if there's something out there, okay, Adil, you're sitting on the source of everything, but there are others that may not have this perfect chance. So also reach out in such cases, because we can also help you with this. We have a special for that. And from my side, thanks, Emil, because it's always great to see how good you can design if you're not bound to any work order restrictions. This is always something that people miss when they start their normal business. They always are reminded of the good times when only design counted and nothing else.
yeah,
So it's good to
that's
see
true.
that too. So thanks Adil, thanks Azar.
Thank you.
If there's anything you want to ask us, please feel free to share your questions in the chat of the LinkedIn Live. We will answer that anyway. Also after that, maybe just very short. There are three very nice comments for you, Adil, about your amazing
Yes.
projects, great projects, great work, amazing projects, and that was the three major comments that we saw on
Thank you
LinkedIn
so
at the
much.
moment.
So Adil is also available on LinkedIn. People who would like to get in touch with him can easily reach out to him through our page. He's listed as a speaker, so you will be able to find his contact easily. So once again, I think it's time to wrap up the session. Thank you so much. Stay tuned for our next session on June 26th, and we'll see you there.
Mm.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you
Thank you,
too.
Adil.
Bye bye.
Bye.
Bye bye.